the presentation can go off and timely and not have too much delay. I'm going to go off camera for now, and then we'll return back on camera for the closure for the Q&A session here. So this will hopefully help. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to turn off the camera. There we go, that's better. And then I'm going to go back full screen. And also someone very near and dear to me in this next slide here is this lovely lady that you see here. This is my much better half. This is my wife. She is a high school counselor up here in Connecticut where I live. And this was one of the pictures taken from her office over this last school year. So 2020 and then into the spring of 2021, I think it's safe to say that it was a whale of a year. And the challenges and obstacles needed to overcome were unlike anything we ever seen in our lifetime. And the way that we've all supported you and the way that you actually conducted yourselves in the classrooms and overcome those obstacles with our sanity intact, hopefully, is nothing short of amazing. So if it hasn't been said enough, it can't be said enough. A very deep and heartfelt thank you to all our educators out there. Okay, so for those of you that are not familiar with NCCER, it stands for the National Center for Construction, Education, and Research. Of course, we're all in education. Who doesn't love yet another acronym? But most of you are probably familiar with NCCER. It is a not-for-profit 501c3 education foundation that created in 1996. The mission is to build a safe, productive, and sustainable workforce for craft professionals. It was developed with the support of more than 125 construction CEOs and various associations and academic leaders who really united to revolutionize training for the construction industry. And with the sharing of a common goal of developing a safe and productive workforce, these companies created a standardized training and credentialing program for the industry. This progressive program has also evolved into curricula for over 70 different craft areas and a complete series of more than 70 assessments offered in over 6,000 NCCER accredited training and assessment locations throughout the United States. NCCER's Board of Trustees consists of representatives from contractors, owners, partner associations. All of our trustees are recognized for their expertise in construction or construction-related issues and serve anywhere from a 1 to 3 year term on the board. The seats on the board are designated specifically for leaders in career and technical education, which helps NCCER continue to strengthen its alignment with education. And then similarly, NCCER partnering organizations, these are national organizations and associations, one of which here at the bottom here, the yellow stripe of Stanley Black & Decker that is located in my backyard up here in New Britain, Connecticut. So near and dear to my heart. But these national associations and organizations, they share a common interest and obviously in goals similar to what NCCER does. Okay, and what does NCCER offer? Well, NCCER offers a comprehensive workforce development system. As you can see, the circular graphic here, it's a full circle from accreditation. We also certify instructors to deliver that curriculum. Again, it is a standardized industry-driven curriculum. NCCER also offers a testing system, industry-recognized credentialing and certification, as well as pathways for careers, career recruiting resources as well. Okay, and NCCER scope. An engagement includes, certainly the participating sectors you see here: government, workforce, industry, and of course education. Where we do have a well-established and systematic connection of secondary as well as post-secondary programs. The NCCER curriculum has been adopted by state departments of education, career colleges, private technical academies, four-year universities, the construction and maintenance industries, and even the federal government's GI Bill. So the scope here, and I love this graphic here because it really just shows, all that hotspot mapping here, that this is not just, something local or regional. This really does have a true national scope. It is utilized in all 50 states across 700 different accredited organizations. These accredited training sponsors and accredited training and education facilities, these are entities that have actually been approved by NCCER as having the resources to effectively conduct a quality training program that uses the NCCER curricula. Again, this just goes to show the depth and the breadth of the NCCER program. Not new, not regional, truly national. The analogy that we like to use, NCCER is to construction as what ASE is to automotive. So it is recognized nationally as the industry standard. And the curricula is, certainly competency-based, measurable objectives, and verified through the demonstration of knowledge and skills in over 70 craft areas. It is a modular format as well, divided up into different levels, levels 1, 2, 3, and 4, depending on the different craft area. And it does have that modular format so that you can cover these topics and modules in the order that you wish, or the number of modules that you wish to cover in a given period, a semester, trimester, that type of thing. And again, these are industry recognized credentials that are confidential and secured in NCCER's registry system. So once a student completes a module and passes the test in the testing system, they do have electronic credentials. They have the option to print them out and carry them with them. They also have a card, a wallet-sized card that can be transportable as well. But these are also stored in NCCER's registry system. So they are safe, they are confidential, they're secured, and they're transportable, and they can be used across the country. A student can, a student or a worker can always go back into and log back into NCCER's registry system and either download these credentials. They can actually be posted. They can be downloaded as an electronic file and sent to an employer. And these can also be displayed on different social media sites, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter, right? So they can actually kind of shout it out to the world to say, hey, I'm not just saying I have these skills. I have some verifiable skills and credentials that you can share online. And the registry statistics are nothing short of just very, very impressive. My credentials, micro credentials rather, 20 million plus over its lifetime, more than 1 million annually. Full program level, full level credentials, 250,000 of them annually, and then specific to North Carolina, over 84,000 micro credentials on average annually, with close to 15,000 full level credentials uploaded nationally. And again, if it's not the largest, it's one of the largest. I mean, this is a big deal, right? This does matter, and this national registry, again, does give that documented career path for your graduates. And the materials, again, nothing short of exceptional here. They're designed to capture the interest of students and be able to help them explore different craft areas, right? They don't want to, kind of pigeonhole or sort of drive to one craft area or another. So it does give sort of that true sort of survey of everything that's available to them in that in a given area. Students are given the theory with the expectation of applying and performing the knowledge in a lab. The materials themselves, they're highly visual. It appeals to how students learn, including tips from subject matter experts and industry experts, which are, that's a vital source, a vital part of, rather, NCCER's workforce development system. Top-notch teams are recruited for each craft area to assist in developing the curriculum, writing the assessments, reviewing them, as well as the development of the performance profiles and the performance verifications. And the curricular resources. So for you, for instructors, these are all housed on an Instructor Resource Center portal online. There's no charge for the resources. They're accessible anytime, day or night. They're secured, they're password protected, and it's a single password, single sign-on, right? So your one login and password for NCCER is your key into all of these resources. Lesson plans, PowerPoints, performance profiles, and then through NCCER Connect, the online learning companion, there's also interactive ebooks, so that way, again, referencing back to my wife's profile picture there, both as in-person, blended, and fully online types of learning arrangements. And the testing system with NCCER, it's automatically created, scored, and stored. And the NCCER testing system is administered directly by NCCER. That's not actually something that is under Pearson's control or umbrella. But all of the instructor resources, as well as the NCCER Online Connect, are available and supported directly by Pearson. And here are some samples and examples. Again, a little snafu with some formatting as it converted from PowerPoint to PDF. So if you tilt your head sideways, there's an example of one of our lesson plans, right? So it's not just, here's a couple of bullet points or anything like that. It's a true lesson plan. These are several pages long, so we have the ability to help you prepare to effectively deliver the instruction. Professionally developed and created PowerPoints are also part of that Instructor Resource Center for you as well. And again, a couple of this seemed to behave a little more nicely here. Performance profile sheets, as well as a full complement of test banks with various different question types, multiple choice, true, false, fill in the blank, matching, and so forth. So we have an ample repository of resources available to you. Again, stored electronically, available to you any time of day or night. And as we talked about earlier, NCCER Connect is the online resource, and Pearson has partnered with NCCER to create this online training program that will help prepare students to enter the workforce as a craft professional. Certainly enhances student learning with audio, visual, video, interactive exercises. It's a simple interface. It is easy to use for instructors. I will probably say that's probably in some cases probably easier for your students to pick it up. Especially the digital natives that are growing up in this generation today. And again, face-to-face, blended distance learning. NCCER Connect can be a wonderful supplement and resource to enhance learning in any situation. And yes, again, your students might be picking this up a little bit quicker than some of us might do in the classroom. However, we will have your back. Pearson will provide training and support as we support that transition that's happening all across curriculum and in all areas, K-12, secondary, post-secondary, and so forth. We assist with setting up your account, providing you training, all right, helping you download and set up your course. We have lots of documentation in the actual program itself. So within the NCCER Connect, we offer instructor resources you can open up and look at or even download. quick start guides. We have self-help topics. We will also hold virtual office hours. These are webinars that we will publish and post days and times that are available, as well as first look webinars that will give you a hands-on demonstration of the different NCCER Connect programs that are available with the different craft areas. So these, again, the office hours and the webinars, these are done online at specific days and times. However, these are also recorded, right? So that if you're not able to make that, once these events happen, we will also record these and we will also post those for later viewing. But we will have a consistent schedule of virtual office hours to be flexible enough to be able to just have a one-on-one chat with someone to say, hey, how do I do this? Or, hey, I have this sort of learning objective. You know, what do you recommend? What types of activities would help out here? And then, of course, we provide technical support 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And why are we doing this all? Because at the end of the day, credentials matter, right? It's not enough just to say you have the skills. To have that verifiable proof that you know these skills is invaluable. And especially in many, many hiring situations with a lot of large employers, a lot of large recruiters, they'll scan LinkedIn, they'll scan electronically, go to like a Monster and Career Builder and all the other sites, and there's actually software that will actually scan and look for particular keywords that are in there, or look for something that is a clickable credential. And this will just only help your students and your graduates kind of rise to the top of those searches when these employers are searching out there. So having those credentials, again, it is something that it matters. It sets your students apart. It brings them to the top of those searches. And again, these are portable, and these can be taken to them with them anywhere they go. Right? They stay in the Carolinas. They go down to Florida. They go out west. These are nationally recognized credentials, portable, transportable, and they stay with them everywhere they go. Okay, so that kind of brings us through sort of the NCCER overview, and now we're going to get specifics. We're going to get into some specifics here about what's new, like what are some of the changes and updates that are coming for the materials used in the classroom. And first and foremost, the biggest announcement that we have is that we have a long anticipated update. We have a new edition of Core 6th edition. This is the Introduction to Basic Construction Skills. This isn't just an update or change a few bullet points. This was a complete rewrite and a complete redesign, right? So we've taken into account a lot of the learning science that's behind there, like the reduce the amount of cognitive overload. It's more more white space, more friendly to use. The margins and the font, everything was re-examined to go into a new design of the text itself. So it is easier to read, it's more modern, feels more modern, and gives a more engaging experience for your trainees. The SME partnerships that we talked about before, we really thoroughly examined all the inputs from these industry experts. So it's going to create an even stronger base to start off the curriculum with, and an enhanced spotlight on those career pathways. The important updates that are included will be a new module for an introduction to the construction industry, including some of the many career fields that are available. So again, it gives that nice sort of survey of the construction industry, right? So it gives the different spectrum of the different careers and the different craft areas that are available. Heavy revisions to construction math, hand tools, power tools, as well as construction drawings. And the hand and power tools modules were written with SME support and imagery from Stanley Black & Decker as well as DeWalt. Targeted updates to safety, and again, brand new lesson plans and interactive classroom presentations available as instructor resources, and we'll go through what some of those interactive presentations look like. And then thoroughly revised question banks, right? So more rigorous performance profiles, and an overall improved text design and layout with definite some well-needed upgrades to the imagery and art. Within NCCER Connect, right? So in addition to the revision of the text itself, within NCCER Connect, we've responded to what the market has asked us for, right? You wanted more of everything, so we gave you more. We're giving you more homework. We're giving you more assignments. We're giving you more question types. The videos, okay? Some of the videos were getting a little dated, right? So we've added 45 brand new videos, with more being added for fall classes, with the focus on construction math, the safety in PFAS. There's actually some news up here in our part of the country here, where where a lot of fire departments are there's a buyback program to turn in the PFAS and to go for alternate fire suppression types of things, as well as a new focus on employability and professionalism, right? What do you do when you sit down in that first interview, right? When someone says, hey, tell me about yourself, right? Tell me about, how would you answer that, right? So it gives them a little bit of that coaching and makes them really workforce ready from that complete holistic standpoint. Yes, I have the skills, and yes, this is somebody that you wouldn't be afraid to go knock on a homeowner's door to, go do some work. The enhanced e-text. This is also this is kind of a big deal. The enhanced e-text, this is not just PDF regurgitation of the print text. The e-text has been thoroughly revamped and put into a screen reader accessible format, right? So it's been designed to be read on a device, as opposed to just just a recreation of the print page in a PDF form. So again, with all that learning design, learning science behind it, it's designed to be read on a laptop or a tablet or even some larger phones. At my age, I probably wouldn't be wanting to read too much on a phone, but we're also reacting to the fact that, hey, we need to meet students where they live. So the enhanced e-text. It's screen reader accessible. It has that learning design. It has that, the reduction of that cognitive overload, the white spacing, the fonts used, and so forth. And it does have embedded links to videos and other projects and assignments. The old print math workbook has now been moved online within NCCER Connect, and the math workbook takes the power of the Connect engine between that platform to be able to provide and generate algorithmically different problem sets, right? So math is one of those disciplines. It's one of those practice disciplines. And so to be able to have algorithmically generated math problems will give you literally an almost unlimited number of math assignments for your students to practice on, as well as more interactive activities, more flashcards, more matching, and more industry terms and things like that. Also, very excited to introduce a partnership with CNCCER, Augmented Reality Simulator Exercises within NCCER Connect. All right, so your students are going to love this. It gives them the ability to not just go through a simulated exercise on their laptops, it gives them that immersive augmented reality experience. So especially if you're looking at limitations in classroom size, if you're looking at limitations with excuse me, the number of people that can be in a classroom or can be in a lab, this gives you that flexibility in your distance learning, in your blended learning. And it gives the students that immersive experience where they're not just reading about it and answering questions about it or watching a video. They're actually in the augmented reality environment, and they're actually inspecting that harness. They're actually, making choices on how the rigging is supposed to work and how the connections are supposed to happen and how things are going to be secured, especially with something like a portable ladder. So very, very exciting, very high tech, but yet very simple to use. And we'll show that to you later when we go into the product. And the different simulator exercises that are available in this initial release. We have 5 of them, including harness inspection, portable ladder safety, lifting hardware, as well as the sling inspection for the lifting hardware. We go over different types of rigging scenarios, as well as the inspection of that rigging. And to help you out with instructors, we give you comprehensive instructor guides, not only to tell you what it is, what it does, and how to use it, but then we also give you those tips and suggestions on how they can be used in different environments, in a face-to-face setting, in a blended setting, in an online setting, right? So again, we have your back when it comes to the instructor materials and the guides to help you be successful in the classroom. Okay, so next exciting set of updates, Electrical 10E. The 10th edition came out earlier this year and has been updated to meet the 2020 National Fire Protection Association National Electrical Code. Again, with our emphasis on really improving the curriculum with industry experts and subject matter experts from around the country. There are now over 6,000 NEC code references embedded within the text itself, both the print text as well as the e-text, and includes new content covering the NEC numbering standard and has even additional trainee exercises. We have updated sections on safety, new applications in lighting, including LEDs, industry recognized credentials, again, that assure that national portability of the skills that your students are mastering. And again, with that emphasis on employability as well as kind of that survey, once we start getting into the specific crafts, also an optional career pathway if students want to go into EST after they complete the level 1 and level 2 of electrical. And then within NCCER Connect itself, 10 brand new performance videos. This is in level 1. And these will flow automatically. This will not require a new course copy for fall, as well as brand new licensing exam prep questions. And then here's a screenshot example of some of those new licensing exam prep modules. Again, they're right there. They're already pre-built and they're already pre-assigned, right? So they're already in there. You don't have to go in through the assignment manager and pick and choose what appears or what doesn't appear. They're already in there and they're automatically scored and graded so your students can get those NEC style license exam prep questions to help prepare them to be successful once they graduate from the program. And here's an example. Once you click into it, they spell right across the top there that these are the license exam prep modules. There is some built-in question help available to them, so if they do get stuck, there are some resources for them to help them out. And that kind of takes us through the updates of Electrical 10E, both in the print text as well as the NCCER Connect module. Also, other things that are new for Masonry 4th edition, level 1, new this year will be for the first time available in NCCER Connect, as well as a new edition. This published last year. This published in 2020, but obviously with COVID and the disruptions, this could be something that might have either not have been a priority or may have just like fallen off of some people's radar. But there is a new 4th edition of Your Role in the Green Environment, published last year and available now. So that takes us through the updates of what's new, and then of course, oh, what happened there? Okay, hopefully we got this straightened out here. So We covered what's new. All right, now we're going to cover what we're going to look forward to right now. So what's going to be coming in the pipeline? Brand new, long-awaited updates for Carpentry 6th edition. This will be a 2022 release, updated with interim credentials that will be aligned with different career pathways that are available. And just like we have really sort of supplemented the NCCER Connect with, a lot more, make it more robust, make it more interactive. We are also going to do the same with Carpentry 6E for NCCER Connect, right? We're going to include more videos, more interactives, more question types, more activities for you as well. And then following the release of Masonry 4E Level 1 being an NCCER Connect now, Level 2 is expected to be out by the end of the year. So coming in December 2021, NCCER Connect for Masonry Level 2 will be live for you and your students. Okay, now, next issue or next topic we're going to cover here are the craft expirations. So there is a new craft expiration policy. This is coming directly from NCCER and is communicated to customers via the website as well as other platforms such as LinkedIn. And typically overall, there's a 3 to 5 year revision cycle, depending on the craft area. So that ensures that the curricula stays up to date with, codes and industry standards and industry practices, which is again why our subject matter experts and industry experts are so vital to making sure that the curriculum stays current and up to date and relevant for you and your students. So the craft expiration policy that's effective as of this month is that the previous edition, and we will share this deck out with you as well, so you will have access to this slide. So if you're out there and scribbling notes down furiously, that's great. If not, we will be sharing this deck out with you. So it says that the previous edition of a revised title will expire 3 years after the final level of the new revision is released. Okay, and then when a craft title has expired, okay, it will no longer be accepted in the registry for credentialing. So, for example, for the 6th edition of Carpentry, right, that's coming out next year. If that Carpentry Level 4, right, is published in 2022, okay, then the 5th edition, the current edition of Carpentry Level 4, will expire 3 years after 2022 in 2025. Right, and that will typically be done in summer months, probably June, okay? So, and we do have a session at the end of this presentation here for Q&A. So if anybody has any specific questions on that, you can drop them in the chat. Regina will be monitoring the chat, or you can save your questions for the end of the presentation. So 3 years after a final level of a new revision is released is when the previous edition will expire. Okay, and then specifically for you in North Carolina, how does this apply for you? What are the things that you need to know? Well, the core 4th edition, as well as welding 4th edition, right? Because now we have a core 6E out. Those credentials have already expired as of June 30th. For electrical 8E, right? The 10th edition is now out. Electrical 8E will expire at the end of June next year in 2022. And again, because the your role in the green environment 4th edition is out, the third edition, those credentials will expire also next year in June of 2022. And that's information that we got straight from NCCER. Okay, so at this point, I know we kind of went over quite a bit here, so I'm going to thank you, Regina, for alerting me that I clicked one too many buttons. Hopefully, I'm now back on and you can hear me. And I'm going to try to share my screen here. Okay, and is my screen visible for the NCCER Connect? Okay, I'll try that again here. All right, is it visible now?
Bob, it looks like it's trying to go into that mode, the screen share mode, and it doesn't seem to be working.
Okay, so, all right, well.
Tell you what, why don't we just finish up with the presentation. And as far as NCCER Connect for the new 6th edition, we will be offering all sorts of live walkthroughs for you guys as we move through the end of the summer and into the fall. Also, I will say, if you are interested in just getting a walkthrough, I'm more than happy to do it for you. So you just reach out to me at my email, regina.forbes@pearson.com, and we can set something up for either you or your faculty or whomever would like to see it. So let's just move forward, and we'll give you back probably about 15-20 minutes of your time, because that was what we were going to spend on the walkthrough.
So again, apologies for the technical difficulties there, but what we'll do is we'll transition over a sort of as graceful a handoff as I can be to give it back to Regina, who's going to walk you through NCCER Connect, the management, the implementation, the ordering, and she's going to kind of give you the soups and nuts of, okay, how does this work and how do I go about adopting this?
Yeah, thanks. I'm assuming everybody can hear me. We'll go through just a few items on this slide deck, and then if you have any questions, you can answer. We will answer those questions during the Q&A. So last year, when so many of you were pretty much forced to go digital, there were always a lot of questions on how does NCCER Connect work? And how does it work for teachers? How does it work for students? What's the process? I think many of you have sort of gotten over that hurdle, but I just wanted to review it in case there were some of you who didn't use it last year, or maybe some of you who are new to the process. So how does NCCER work for teachers and students? For teachers, the teachers will need a Pearson instructor account. A lot of them already have it, because this is the same account that they will use to access the Instructor Resource Center and download those resources. They will also download a pre-built NCCER Connect courses, and that comes directly from our NCCER Connect library. And then those courses, all of the materials that Bob spoke about, are immediately available to students enrolled in the course. So there's no additional need to update or assign or build anything. It's all there. So once those courses have been downloaded into the instructors platform, then students will now register for the course that the instructor has created. They gain access, students gain access to the instructor's course using an access code that you would purchase from Pearson, and that course ID that is generated by Pearson when the teacher creates the course. Access codes are course specific. This is really important. I know in some digital resources, you can use an access code across a variety of different books, but with NCCER Connect, they are course specific. So they are specific to the craft, to the level, and the edition. Access codes don't expire. They can be redeemed by the student during the course of the registration process, but they do not expire until the students actually use them to enter the teacher's course. And once the students enter the teacher's course, they have access to that course material for 24 months. So even though the course may only last half of a year, students, when they come back, can go back into that course. They can review the materials. They will have access to the e-text that sits in that course for up to 24 months. Okay, can we change? Perfect. This question came up a lot last year because I think that many of your school districts are moving to delivering online resources in a learning management system, an LMS, specifically in Canvas. So I was asked many times, can NCCER Connect be integrated into my school's LMS? And the answer is yes, 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 yes. So the reason this integration process is a pretty easy, seamless process for you is that NCCER Connect is built on the Pearson MyLab platform. That MyLab platform has been around for about 16 years. It's used by millions of students worldwide and is integrated throughout LMSs throughout the country in both K-12, community colleges, four-year institutions, etc. The MyLab platform can be integrated into Canvas, Blackboard, Moodle, etc. At this time, however, it cannot be integrated into Google Classroom. So if any of you all are using Google Classroom, that integration process will not work. Once you decide to integrate your NCCER Connect into your learning management system, your IT administrators will need to get involved. We have all sorts of resources for those IT administrators, and on this slide, I've linked those resources. There's a getting started guide for that Canvas administrator, and then there are some other resources that can be used by those administrators and by individual schools to support that integration process. Next. Okay, so I already got a kind of a similar question to this in the chat. How do I order my NCCER Connect student access codes? And this would also apply to textbooks. So if you need a quote, all you do is reach out to me. And I will need certain tidbits of information to get that quote going for you. I'll need the title, the level, and the edition of the text. If you have the ISBN, that would be great, but I don't need it. I can look that up for you. I will need to know whether you're purchasing the access code as a standalone student access code. So in other words, are you going all digital where you won't be purchasing a textbook? All you want is to purchase the access codes, or whether you'll be purchasing the textbook packaged with the student access code. I will also need to know, obviously, the quantity. Once I have that information, then I will engage our CTE partner, Savvis, in creating the quote for you. We can usually turn around these quotes within 24 hours, but obviously as we get closer to the beginning of the school year, during that peak back to school time period, it may take a little bit longer. Once you've received the quote and you're ready to move forward with a purchase, you can reach out to me with your completed PO, and I will engage again Savvis to process that PO. Savvis will generate the access codes that you're purchasing and will deliver those access codes to you via email. In the past, we actually would provide you with access cards that had the access codes embedded in the card. We're trying to avoid that process moving forward because those cards go out of print as they did last year because the demand was so unpredictable and was so high. And it's also a quicker process for us to be able to deliver the codes to you via an email. You don't have to wait for shipping and processing, etc. Now, if you are ordering the textbook with the access codes packaged with the textbook, then you will receive that access code in a printed card. Okay, so next. So the question is, what does NCCER Connect cost? So NCCER Connect is being offered by Pearson and NCCER at a heavily discounted price for our CTE partners. Normally, the catalog pricing for the access code for the students is the same price as the textbook. But what we've done for our CTE partners is to discount that price to $30 per access code, all levels, all craft areas. So simple, $30 per access code, all levels, all craft areas. There is no institutional licensing fee, and instructor access to the platform is free. Next. So the question of the IRC has come up multiple times, comes up multiple times a week. I want to just clarify this before we move on, that Pearson no longer publishes instructor resource guides, printed instructor resource guides. We deliver all of our instructor resources on our instructor IRC, Instructor Resource Center portal. In order to access the IRC, instructors will need to have a Pearson instructor account. And I am more than happy to provide anyone with instructions for setting up that account, as well as providing you with an access code that the instructors will need when they go through that process. Some of the instructor resources, and this is something that Bob went over, include PowerPoints, performance profile sheets, lesson plans. I always get asked the question, where are the answers to the review questions in the textbook? They are actually embedded in the lesson plans. With that Pearson instructor account, you can also access your NCCER Connect My Courses homepage. So once you have set up a Pearson instructor account, you're able to download the instructor resources from the IRC, but you're also able to log into your NCCER Connect course and access that My Courses homepage. So if you'll go ahead and move to the next slide. Does Pearson offer training for NCCER Connect users? Yes, we do. We have a substantial number of training options for you. If you want anytime information on how to use NCCER Connect, you can use the support link, which is at the homepage of the NCCER Connect portal. We are offering live virtual trainings through October, Tuesdays at 11, Wednesdays at 4, and I included the registration link for those trainings on this PowerPoint slide. And then finally, we have a user help forum that is offered Thursdays at 3 p.m. This forum is really helpful. It's a drop-in, ask your questions, share information with others who may be on that help forum. And so we encourage you to use that as well. And then finally, as you guys all know, even though I'm technically not the help desk or the support page, you can always come to me with any questions that you might have. I can tell you 95% of the questions that you ask are one of 3 or 4 issues that a lot of people face, I can answer those questions, or I can answer those issues very quickly and give you directions on how to correct the problem. So obviously, you're more than welcome to come to me with those kind of questions. And I will say that if none of our set up live virtual trainings work for you in terms of time, or if you're working at a district level and would like me to personally host a training for you and your instructors at the district level, I am more than happy to do so. Next. That is the end. So I would like to open it up to any Q&A, any questions that you might have. I would ask that if you do have a question, you just have to unmute yourself and ask that question. And if you want to put it in chat, I will be back taking a look at chat.
So Regina, I took this opportunity to open up the chat. Looks like there are 3 questions, now a 4th one coming in. So from William Garner, says, I will be using the 5th edition of CORE for, I'm assuming, the next 3 years. Are the test banks all going to be updated now or then?
Okay, so if you are referring to the accreditation tests, if you're using the 5th edition of CORE, will remain the same. If you are using the 6th edition of CORE, your students will be credentialing for that edition and will be testing for that edition with specific test questions. As far as the 5th edition is concerned, the resources that you see on the Instructor Resource portal will remain the same. They will not be updated. The 6th edition resources will be specific to that edition, and those additional test banks that we have built for the 6th edition will apply to that edition.
Okay. Okay, so next, so hopefully, Mr. Garner, that answers your question. If not, just pop back in the chat or come off of mute. Next question from Greg Tharrington has a question about integration.
Yes.
Sir, would you like to come off of mute? And what's your question, sir?
Regina, I had a problem with Canvas integrating. Yes. And I can't remember exactly because I tried to forget a whole lot that happened last year. But there was something about that if I set it up through Canvas first and then set up the NCCER Connect, and this actually happened, it deleted everything and I could never get it back. Do you know anything about that? Because if you don't set it up exactly one way or the other, you lose everything, because I lost all my classes. So I'm very weary of doing that.
Yeah. So the way that integration should work is that you create your Canvas course and then you load in your NCCER Connect course into Canvas as opposed to the other way. So I'm assuming that you built your NCCER Connect course in the MyLab platform and then integrated it in. Is that what happened?
I don't remember right off. I thought I did it in Canvas first, but I don't remember. But I do remember that it was deleted and everything was lost.
Yeah.
And I was told that if you did it that way, you would lose everything after I did.
Yeah, and I'm sorry about that. You know, I always tell my instructors that they should work with their IT folks at the school level or district level. And those folks are probably really familiar with the Pearson MyLab platform, because all of our math and science and language arts, everything is delivered in that platform. So it's best to work with them when you start that integration process.
Yeah, I just didn't want that to happen to anybody else, because you have to be very careful.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. Integration works, but there is a specific process that you go through, and those IT professionals are the ones that know how to do it. And I think that's I appreciate your bringing that up. Other questions?
Okie doke. So next one is from Dana Russell. Does the $30 include the printed book if you want the textbook and the access code?
Okay. The $30 is just the digital. It's just the access code. If you are purchasing the textbook with the access code, you pay the price of the textbook, which is $57.99 for core, $69.99 for level 1 and level 2s through 4s, $99.99 plus the package price of the access code with the textbook is an additional $25 as opposed to $30. So there is somewhat of a discount if you're buying the printed textbook plus the access code together.
Okay, and again, for all folks here that we're answering questions for, if your question is answered, great. If not, just drop something in the chat or just come off of mute. So next question from Tara Wheeler. What is your suggestion for integration for schools that use Google as LMS?
Mm-hmm. So great question. What we suggest is in your Google shell, you put the link to NCCER Connect and instructions for your students to log into their course. And then you list the assignments, whether it be module, level, or what the assignments are right in your Google Classroom activity sheet. That way, what you're doing is the students are actually having to go out to NCCER Connect, but it's being included within that Google platform as to where they need to go. So the instructors are in Google platform, then they're linking out to NCCER Connect. It's a little sticky. The reason right now we don't integrate with Google Classroom is because there's no way for us to protect the intellectual property within and the copyrighted resources within NCCER Connect. So that's why they don't integrate. With Canvas, we're able to do that.
Okie doke. Next question from Carl Robbins. The links to the live help sessions will be on this very same deck, and we will be sharing this deck out with you all. And please forgive me, Regina, what the woman's name who was our contact?
Danielle Riverbank.
Right. So the deck is actually already uploaded within this platform, and then I will also send a copy to Danielle, and that will be shared out with everybody as well. And Kelly Grinstaff asks, do instructors have free access to NCCER Connect and the IRC? And the answer is always has been, always will be. Yep. So yes, it is free access. We do not charge for access to these resources.
Glenn, let me add on there. Yeah, no problem. That's a great question. And I think it's really an important question. So even if your students are not using NCCER Connect, I encourage all my instructors to go into the platform, download the course, and then that way you'll have access, you personally will have access to the e-text, which is really convenient. But you'll also have access to the videos, to the animations, to the interactives. So if I'm in a classroom teaching, I may want to pull up one of the interactives and use it as a classroom activity. I may want to present using the e-text that I've annotated. I may want to use some of the videos in the classroom. So to me, NCCER Connect is not just a wonderful student learning tool. It is also a great instructor tool that really enhances a classroom experience. So yes, 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 with exclamation points.
Okay, doke. Let's see. Next question from Glenn Mura. Are access codes transferable to other teachers within the same school district? And I think the scenario there is that, well, my class is over and I have some leftover codes. Can the next person use them?
Yeah, absolutely. Those access codes stand on their own. When you purchase them, what you do with them is up to you. I have schools that keep them in inventory and use them, you know, the next semester. I have schools that have shared them with other schools in the district because maybe they didn't have as many students as they had expected enrolled in a particular course. So just think of them as, you know, maybe a gift card. You can pass it around as you see fit.
Okay, and then next question from T.R. Robinson, and this is something that we might need to contact NCCER directly for, is that will there be a read aloud option inside the testing platform? And I'm assuming we're talking about the NCCER testing platform and not the Connect online resource.
So let me address that because there was another question that came up in chat that I couldn't answer. So NCCER manages the credentialing and the testing for obvious reasons. They want to keep that incredibly secure. They recognize that credentials are only as good as the institution that is credentialing. So they manage that whole process. When questions come up related to testing vouchers, credentialing, the platform that the credentials are housed in, those are all questions that NCCER needs to answer. That being said, if you want to send me an email and it's an NCCER question that I can't answer, I have a partner at NCCER that I work with exclusively, and all I do is just include her a response to you, and she will take it from there. So to make it a little easier on you, where you're not going directly out to NCCER, you can come through me, and then I'll make sure that that question gets answered by including Nicole Kittler, who's my partner at NCCER, on my response.
Well said, Regina. And actually, and it looks like Michael Lyons volunteered some information saying that you were in a session yesterday that answered this very question. Well, we have the extra time, so up to you. If you'd like to come off of mute and address, feel free to do so.
Yeah, Allison Butts gave a session yesterday that answered that question. There is not a read aloud specifically in the testing system, but you can, she said that you can download free apps that will read it aloud, or your school system may have a read aloud program that they use for all their testing. So it's something that you're going to have to do on your own. There is not a read aloud function in the test itself, though.
Okay, that's good information. Thank you for sharing that, Michael.
Thanks.
Okay. I think I'm going to just go through the chat one more time, just make sure I didn't miss anything. A few of the first chats were, no, Bob, we can't hear you. No, Bob, we can't see your screen. Let's see. Jennifer Cable asks, is the session being recorded? Yes, we are being recorded right now. Let's see. Oh, okay. Okay, Kelly asked about printing transcripts, and Regina, you already answered that in the chat.
That was one of those NCCER questions.
Yep. And then, all right, so Kelly also asks, where do do they go? So are you talking students, or where do instructors?
Yeah,
see?
that was sort of a follow-up, Bob, to the question she had about
Okay.
the transcript. So, and I will defer to NCCER on that one.
Okay. Then that about does it. So that kind of clears out, that touches on everything that was put into the chat. At this point, again, it's 12 after the hour, according to my clock. Any other final questions, comments, or input?
So if we don't have any more questions, I will end things by saying thank you, thank you, thank you for your time today. And keep in mind, you can always reach out to me. I'm pretty responsive with emails. And if you want, as I said, any type of a presentation or training, I can also set those up for you. So thank you for today, and best of luck to you as we work our way into the new school year. Feel free to reach out to me or Bob with any questions, and we will be posting this PowerPoint. Thank you. Have a great day, great rest of the week, and I will see you in the fall.
Thanks again, everybody. Have a great day.